go back to the Guru's times. Imagine you there, Guru Amar Das's time. The langar's there, and I've had this in Langar. Vibrant come and sit next to me, and it absolutely reeks in India. And I've had paupers come and sit next to me, and they're stealing the prashad. Literally putting them down, their shirts and everything, getting the lawn. And the Sevadars carry on giving them food. Now, what you have to think of, in Guru Sahib's times, was there tables and chairs in any Langar hall in India? You're all saying no. So, the question goes back, should we modernise Sikhi? And a Munna told me this. We had an event and we were debating, this one Munna was arguing this actual point, saying we should have tables and chairs, Sikhi needs to modernise, and the other Munna, he knows everything about Sikhi, but he just doesn't want to practice. So he knows everything, and he came back and he said, look, you have Coca-Cola, which has been the best-selling drink for the last 100 years. It wasn't him. He hasn't got the brain. It wasn't him. Yeah, it wasn't him. But he said Coca-Cola has been the best-selling drink for the last 100 years. But he said the product hasn't changed, the ingredients haven't changed. But he said the marketing's changed throughout time. And the marketing's changed, it still makes it the best-selling drink. And he said what it is, the Guru's made the perfect product. There's no malad in it. There's nothing that we can change in that product. What we can do is change the marketing of Sikhi, but we can't change Sikhi. So Guru Sahib and Guru Amar Das sat down and made Akbar the Raja come and sit in that on the floor. In terms of what you're saying, Benji, we need to make stuff to assist Bajoruk and things like that. But why can't we, if I wanted to help Bajoruk sit on the floor? In my Godara, my personal local Godara, we've got two Bibbiyan who are creating an issue in the Godara to have benches in the Diwan. One of the Bibbiyan goes and does a round for 1 hour, Maharaj Hajuri sits in the Hajuri, then will not eat langar on the floor. Then she'll go and sit after the roll on the chair at the back. Yeah, I've been to Godala Sahib in Birmingham. We come with the Maharaj Sroop on my head and we're walking through the Diwan and there's a 13-year-old Munda, Juwan, sitting on the bench at the back of the Diwan. Now this is a massive issue in our Qawm at the moment. When Singh Sahib and Ranjit Singh, when it was a Gata Jathar, made a Hukumnama from Gata Sahib saying everyone has to sit on the floor. And it got to the stage where a lot of Pracharaks didn't go to Godware and do bookings for Katha. I got there where they had tables and chairs. That's the stage we got to. There was fights in Canada. It all helped broke loose in Canada. But because we're not willing to accept Guru Sahib's Manada, accept Guru Sahib's Hukam, what we're looking for is trying to change that perfect product that was made. Nearly a month in Victoria, in Canada. Now Victoria, the Sikh community there on the island, is the old Sikhs who went to Canada about 100 years ago. And there's people living there, ages like grandmas, who can't speak a word of Punjabi, who are Punjabi Sikhs, who can't speak Punjabi. So someone like your Daddy Ma can't speak any Punjabi, fluent English. Can't speak a word of Punjabi, because that's how old their generations of them going there and emigrating there. In Godwara, Victoria, people will come in and they say, and if the Granth is saying, when anyone else says something, they've got the signs up, but they don't listen, they start fighting with you. And then there's Godwara, I think it's in Hollywood, or around that area in LA, there's Godwara, they've actually got like a church, actual seats and pews. There's a Godwara that's got it. Yeah, it's actually built. And they've got the pews and they've got Maharaj, I think, at the bottom, like on a stage. So this has already happened. So, you know what you're talking about, it's happening. And now in the UK, it's happening in front of our eyes, in all the Godwara, with the benches and other things like that. And even the Darbar Sahib Granthis come to these Godwara and say this shouldn't be happening. But then when I go to India, I went to Sikh2Inspire Camp and they've got benches to Sikh2Inspire Camp and Delhi. I was horrified. So it's taken over our community in a sense, and it's a laxity issue too, which is becoming a big issue.
I just want to add on, just on that New Age thing. What we've done, it's about extremes. Sikhi is in the middle, and we had this issue where people thought we'd become this is what they say, too much Hindufied, Murti Puja and all the rest of it. So what we do, what human nature does, we don't go back to what we should be doing, we go to the other extreme. Guess what we're doing now? We're becoming, with respect, that was the sort of Eastern faiths, we're becoming like the Western faiths. So they have chairs and tables, chairs in churches, so we want to make ours look like a church. They stand up when they get married. So we want to now start standing up when we're going to get married. We don't want to sit down, we don't want to do prakarma anymore, because it's all supposed to be in our head. We're doing a prakarma in our head, so we'll sit down and then we'll stand up, and it's like a church. And then in some weddings, in the old days when the wedding happened, you know, like the Singh comes in and he sits in the sangat. The Bibi used to come in, Matha Tek, sit in the sangat, and they would listen to Kirtan for a bit in the sangat before the Singh sits, and the Bibi sits by themselves. But what have we done? And this is, all of us are guilty of it. It's not one. I'm not having a go at anybody. Everybody's guilty of it jointly, and it's an issue. We have, the Singh goes, sits down, does his bit, sits there, and then what do we start doing? Here comes the bride. Because everybody brings her, and everybody, the father, that everybody brings her, because she can't walk by herself, because she might run away. So the father has to make sure, come on, you're getting married today. And he sits her down. Sikhi is not that extreme, and Sikhi is not this extreme. Sikhi is what Sikhi is. The product can never change. And we have to stick to what Guru Sahib Ji told us. That's all I wanted to say. In any topic, it's all about respect of Gurbani, isn't it? We've had some questions, and this is a different form of respect your King of Kings, respect your Guru. It all comes under that topic, that bracket. If the more we respect, and I like this word, I learned this word this week, I'm going to use it now, this word of submission, submitting, and we submit everything to our Guru, we're going to get blessed. If that guy is going in that Gurdwara in Victoria with his head, and he's arguing with the Pracharaks and the Granthi Singhs, do you think his prayers are going to be answered? No way they're going to be answered. So what's his point of going there? Like a Pakhandik ritual ban gaya. He's not going to get nothing. What we're here to do is, obviously we might not be able to change the world. We can't, we haven't got the power, I haven't. Some of you might. But what we can do is we can change ourselves, and we can change our families. If we can't change our wider families, we can change our direct families. We can be the revolutionary change. And through that, there'll always be somebody. It's like Sikhi kade nahi mar sakdi, because even when Masarang was at Darbar side, the Singh used to swim across and light the jyot, didn't he? To show we're not dead, we're still alive. So even if our brothers and sisters, Punjabi Sikh community is changing, we have to be the revolutionaries, and we're not going to change. We're going to stay strong, and we're going to always say, marna nahi hega. We're not going to die. We've got too many problems from external pressures, but even the internal ones, we're not going to die from it. I think we're going to follow the teachings that Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji laid down for us. And if we do, then we will definitely be saved. If our brother or sister doesn't, we tried our best, but let's just worry about ourselves. So I think we try, but let's make sure we change. Let's not go away from here agreeing to all of this, but then we still fall that same bracket, such as we've talked about, you know, even wedding parties and stuff. There was questions about ghosts and stuff. There's a sack here, you know, I remember Baljeet Singh mentioned it years ago when he was, you know, going there. That's where, you know, there's all these little things, and what we're forgetting what Guruji said to us. We have to make sure we don't forget, whatever level of spiritual stage, whether we're Amritari up here, whether Amritari here, whether we're not Amritari. If anybody says to you, "Tu ta munna ya, tu kado inna katna," so what? You're on a path. You're on a path, and that's something you can do at this time. You might not be able to be Amritari at this time, but you can do that at this time. You can sit on the floor and eat. So you're going to sit on the floor and eat. Make that stand. Make that difference. And that will also give you more love and more blessings, because you made a small stand. Guruji will say, he wasn't one of mine officially, but they're making a stand. I'm going to pull him in closer. Only happy for him to